Hey everyone, this is Jefferson with the Detroit Lions podcast and Lions Wire, and we are to our final offensive positional group preview ahead of training camp. We did offensive line, we've done tight ends, wide receivers, don't really need to do quarterbacks, although I did write that at Lions Wire, but now we are up to the running backs. Let's go. All right. Pretty straightforward at the top here with the running backs. There's no mystery to this. We've got Montgomery Gibbs, David Montgomery. You can call them 1A, 1B, AB. They are both incredible performers. They are both coming off of years where they netted over 1,000 yards from scrimmage. Montgomery rushed for over 1,000. Gibbs just missed it. It's very likely that they will both get there to that 1,000-yard mark this season. Montgomery looks fantastic. He did the deadlift of effectively of an adult manatee. Video for that is incredible. He didn't actually pick up a manatee, just the weight of one. And Gibbs, by all accounts, is coming along very well from his off-season issues with his injuries. He should be back and fine once training camp starts here in a couple of weeks down in Allen Park. And I will certainly be there and watching these guys very closely. But, they can do it all. They do it differently. Montgomery, much more of a thick lower body power runner, runs people over, runs through arm tackles. He can catch the ball. He can pass protect very well. Gibbs, much more of an elusive somewhere between Barry Sanders and Reggie Bush type of elusiveness. Also, like Reggie Bush, is a phenomenal receiver out of the backfield, very good on running routes, making things happen after the catch. And I suspect that you will see him catch a lot of passes this year. So that, again, no drama at the top. It's where you get to number 3, number 4, number 5. How many do the Lions keep? That's where the nuts and the bolts of the conversation come in. And we'll start right there. Are they going to keep 3 or are they going to keep 4? I'm going to go on the presumption right now that they're keeping 4, and that's because I do think that Craig Reynolds has shown enough as the number 3 back that they trust him in a lot of different situations. His pass protection is good. His downfield blocking, I mean, we all saw that in Tampa. Amon-Ra Brown, thanks him very much for that. Can run the ball between the tackles, can grind out short yardage, fits in well with the team, can sort of back up either spot. He is not a speed guy, not like Gibbs at all, but he can get out of the open field a little bit, and he's proven himself. He's also inexpensive, and that matters too. Your depth has to be inexpensive. He's going to get pushed for that number 3 spot, though, by Sione Vaki, the rookie from Utah. And Vaki, played safety primarily at Utah, but did play some running back and is shifting completely to running back. And I'm proud of the Lions for seeing him as a running back. And that's something that I was told early in the draft process when a lot of other teams were still looking at Vaki as a safety. Lions saw him as better running back, and I kind of did too, just based on his all-or-nothing style, which works better as a running back than it does as a safety. He's probably not ever going to be one of those guys that goes back onto defense, although you can't ever rule anything out with this team. But Vaki looked very good in the spring workouts, catching the ball out of the backfield. He can run wheel routes. He can catch the ball on the dead run, which is important. That's something that the Lions offense uses a lot of. Gibbs is very good at that. Montgomery has shown he can do that as well. There's a lot of usage for Sione Vaki in this offense. He can also play a little bit of fullback. Not that the Lions have one, and not that they will use one much, but if they do, he does have the capability to come in and be a lead back in front of primarily Gibbs, but I suppose you could see a heavy set with him and Montgomery in there. I don't know, just an idea that I might have there. But I like him in the offense, where I really like Vaki and why I don't think he's in any danger at all of being cut. Not that they would do that to a fourth-round rookie anyways, but special teams, he's already excelled at special teams. Coverage units, he's the first guy down every kickoff, every punt. He avoids blocks like it's his job, which kind of is. just a phenomenal special teams instinct player, and he could also wind up being the kick returner. That's a very likely possibility. They were certainly giving him looks at that in minicamp and OTAs. I think you're going to see a lot of that in training camp as well, where Sione Vaki, number 33, is going to get a lot of shots to prove that he can be their return man. And that sort of gives them the flexibility to carry him, even if Craig Reynolds remains as a number 3 running back. That still gives value for a rookie that they've invested some in. And I do think that that's probably the most likely outcome, although it wouldn't be crazy if they kept Vaki and decided, you know what, we're good enough there. We can, bring one of these guys that I'm about to talk to on the practice squad and bring them up if we need to, and maybe let Craig Reynolds go to a team that's a little bit more running back needy. That wouldn't shock me either. We'll have to see how that plays out in training camp, but the Lions do have some depth here. And next up on the depth chart, a guy that a lot of fans, including myself, loved a lot last summer, and that's Zonovan Knight. Don't call him Bam. He's Zonovan. He's back. He's healthy after the injury that wiped out his 2023 season. Another physical inside to outside runner. Very good acceleration, very good vision, pretty good balance through contact, which I think is probably Montgomery's best attribute. There's a lot to like about Knight. This is a guy who rushed very well for the Jets when they gave him a chance a couple of years ago. He's got to prove he can stay healthy, and he's got to prove he can pass protect. But there's something. This guy belongs in the NFL, and right now he's on the outside looking in at this team. That's sort of a recurring theme with Lions. We talked about it with the tight ends too. If they don't keep 4, there's a guy on that team that's going to get cut right now that's going to wind up playing on another roster. That's just the embarrassment of offensive riches that we have in Detroit, and I'm waiting to be struck down from the heavens for uttering that phrase, but that's where we are, folks. It's a good place to be. I like that. I like Knight a lot. I like what I've seen from Jake Funk, a guy that a lot of people don't pay much attention to. He looks pretty good in reps this spring. Got a lot of swing passes where he can catch the ball and turn it upfield. Proved he can do that. Pass protection, he's in the right place at the right time. Special teams. Again, we've talked about this at the other positions. If you're not going to start on this team, you've got to contribute on special teams, especially if you're inexpensive. That's a great way to be. I don't think that Jake Funk has a lot of shot at this roster, but guy can play, and he's going to get a chance to prove himself, and he does have skills that mesh well with what they're trying to do offensively, so don't write him off just yet. Jermar Jefferson is back. Probably his last go-around. He's really got to show a lot this year. He hasn't made it in thinner backfields than this in the past. That's no slight on him. It's just the reality of where he's at. If he hasn't made his impact in Detroit by now, it's probably not going to happen for him. It's just unfortunate because there's a lot of things to like about him. He hits the hole hard. He also can catch the ball out of the backfield. I will go back to 2022. His pass protection was probably the worst I've ever seen in an NFL training camp from a running back. It was abysmal. It was scary. Has he improved on that? I hope so. I don't think it's going to be enough to get him on the field, though. And he also doesn't offer a lot on special teams. And that's, he's tried. He's worked hard at it. I think he's going to wind up being on another team's practice squad this year somewhere else and get a shot maybe as their number 4 running back. And if like an injury happens, he can move up. But, again, they don't have any fullbacks. Let me look at the roster. Make sure I'm not leaving anybody off. Let's see. Yep, that's it. That's your running backs. Thanks for tuning in. Check out the other ones. If you look on the archive here at Detroit Lions Podcast, you can find the previews that we did previously. We're going to move to the defense next. Again, we're not doing quarterbacks because it's pretty self-explanatory, and we've talked a lot about quarterbacks to begin with. So make sure you like and subscribe. And with that, this is Jefferson signing out. Thanks for watching.